Hey there. Let's talk about something you're doing right this very second, completely on autopilot: breathing. We're going to dive into one of the most basic things your body does. But here's the kicker: the real reason your body takes that next breath, it's almost certainly not what you think. So let's get into it. I mean, really, have you ever stopped to think about that number? 20,000 breaths every single day. That is a ton of work your body is just doing without you even asking it to. So what's the deal? Why all the effort? Okay, so if I asked you, your first guess would probably be oxygen, right? And hey, you're not wrong. Oxygen is super important. Our little red blood cells are like a fleet of Ubers, picking up oxygen and delivering it all over our bodies so our cells can do their thing. But, and this is a big but, what if I told you that getting more fuel isn't the main reason your brain is screaming, hey, time to breathe? So to really nail this down, we need to do a super quick tour of how our lungs work. Think of it as a little backstage pass to your own body. All right, first up, we've got a term called tidal volume. Now, don't let the fancy name fool you. It's literally just the normal, chill breath you're taking right now. You know, the one you don't even think about. It's like the gentle tide of the ocean, just in and out. Easy peasy. And how much air are we talking about? Well, on average, it's about 500 milliliters. To give you a picture, grab a regular plastic water bottle. That's it. That's the amount of air you're moving with every single one of those normal, quiet breaths. Okay, now let's try something. After your next normal breath in, don't stop. Keep inhaling. Go on. Really try to fill your lungs all the way to the top. That extra bit of air you just packed in there, that is your inspiratory reserve volume. It's like the emergency reserve tank of air you have on standby. And get this, look how big that reserve tank is. We're talking about 3,100 milliliters. That is huge. Remember that water bottle from before? This is like stacking more than 6 of them on top of each other. That's an absolutely incredible amount of extra capacity your lungs are just holding onto for you. All right, time for a mini quiz. Just to make sure that's sticking, what's the term for that normal, everyday, water bottle-sized breath? Go ahead, pause, and say it out loud. Did you get it? It's tidal volume. Perfect, you're crushing this. Okay, basics are covered. Now for the main event. Let's pull back the curtain and meet the real boss of your breathing. And trust me, it's not who you think it is. So here it is, the big twist in the story. We all think we're breathing for oxygen, and yeah, we need it to live, but it is not the primary thing that triggers your body to take a breath. Nope, your brain is laser focused on something else entirely. Here's the easiest way to think about it. Oxygen is the groceries you bring into the house. It's the fuel. But when you use that fuel, you make trash, right? Well, carbon dioxide, CO2, is the trash. And your body is obsessed with taking out the trash. Getting rid of that CO2 is the trigger that makes you breathe. And look, this isn't just my opinion. This is straight from the textbook. The quote says it all. The most important reason you breathe is to get rid of carbon dioxide. Now, does that mean oxygen doesn't matter? Of course not. Low oxygen is definitely a backup alarm. But the main alarm, the one that goes off every 4 seconds or so, that's the CO2 alarm. It's all about taking out the trash. So, how does this work? How does your body know the trash can is getting full? Well, your brain has this amazing, super sensitive CO2 alarm built right in. The headquarters for this whole operation is located deep inside your brainstem, in a little spot called the medulla. Think of it as the mission control center. It's this ancient, powerful part of your brain that runs all the stuff you don't think about. And its number one job, 24/7, is to watch your blood for any signs of trouble. It's actually a pretty simple 4-step process. First, your cells do their work and produce CO2 waste. Step 2, that CO2 gets dumped into your bloodstream. Then, and this is the cool part, tiny little sensors called chemoreceptors act like detectives. They're in your brain and arteries, and they immediately spot the rising CO2 levels. And finally, they send a red alert to the medulla, which then blasts out the order, breathe. Okay, so let's see how this all plays out in the real world. You know, like when you're exercising and suddenly can't catch your breath. We've all been there, right? You're going for a run, maybe hitting the gym, and next thing you know, you're huffing and puffing. And what do we always say? I need more oxygen. Well, now you know that's only half the story. What's really happening is your CO2 alarm is going absolutely bonkers. See, when you work out, your muscles turn into little factories, just pumping out tons of CO2 waste. This floods your blood and the CO2 level just skyrockets.
Your brain's alarm system goes into full-on emergency mode, screaming, breathe, 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 much faster. That heavy breathing isn't just about getting oxygen in. It's mostly about desperately trying to blow all that extra CO2 out.
Whew. Okay, that was a ton of cool stuff. Let's lock it all in with a super quick rapid fire review. You ready? Let's do it. Question 1. What's the number one main, most important trigger that makes you breathe? Carbon dioxide. Yes, it is all about getting rid of that waste. Okay, next question. What's the name of that control center in the brain? The one that houses the CO2 alarm?
The medulla. You got it. Right there in the brainstem.
So there you have it. The next time you take a breath or feel winded after a workout, you'll know the secret. It's your body's amazing automatic system just taking out the trash. And that really makes you think, doesn't it? What other absolutely incredible things is your body doing for you right now, completely on autopilot?